No one saw it coming, not the fans, not the press, not even those closest to them. When Sara's husband finally decided to speak, his words tore through social media like wildfire. In a few short sentences, he turned what many believed to be a beautiful love story into a shocking scandal. His claim? That Sara's affection, her passion, her so-called love for Can Yaman, was never real. It was part of a plan. For months, the world had been captivated by Sara and Can, their chemistry, their public appearances, the way they seemed drawn to each other even in crowded rooms. Fans described it as electric. Their connection looked effortless, natural, and undeniably romantic. But according to this bombshell revelation, it might have all been carefully constructed. The story began to unfold during an interview that was never meant to make headlines. Sara's husband had agreed to speak with a small, local magazine, mainly about his work, his personal life after their separation, and the lessons he'd learned from fame. But when the interviewer brought up Sara's name, something in his tone shifted. He paused, sighed deeply, and said words that would set the internet on fire. Sara's love for Can, it was part of a bigger plan. It wasn't real in the way people think. Within hours, excerpts from the interview flooded every platform. Hashtags like #SaraYaman and #ItWasAllPlanned began trending. The comments exploded. He's lying. She would never do that. This can't be true. Is this why Can distanced himself? Fans were torn, some defending Sara fiercely, others saying they had always sensed something strange behind the scenes. What shocked people most wasn't just what he said, but how detailed his claims were. According to him, everything, from the first public meeting to the emotional moments that melted hearts online, was designed for attention. Sara knew exactly what she was doing, he said. Every step was calculated. It started as a PR idea, but it went too far. Somewhere along the line, even she couldn't separate what was real and what wasn't. He didn't stop there. The interview revealed that before Sara even met Can, she had already discussed strategies with her team about positioning herself in Italy as the woman closest to him. Those who remember their first public appearance, the smiles, the camera flashes, the subtle glances, now began to wonder if it had all been rehearsed. For Can Yaman, the timing couldn't have been worse. He had been preparing for his next project and keeping a low profile after months of gossip linking him to Sara. Sources close to him said he was furious when he heard the news. Can feels betrayed, one insider said. He didn't know the extent of her motives. He thought it was real, at least, at first. Italian tabloids had a field day. Covers read, "Sara's game exposed," and "Can's trust broken again." The narrative instantly shifted from romance to manipulation. One popular entertainment host even said live on TV, "If this is true, it means Sara didn't fall in love, she played a role." Meanwhile, Sara stayed silent. Her social media went dark. No posts, no stories, no statements. The silence only fueled speculation. Fans dissected old videos, searching for moments that proved she had been acting. Clips where she looked too perfect, too aware of the camera, too rehearsed. One video, where she looked directly at the lens during a supposedly candid moment with Can, went viral again, captioned, "Was this all part of the plan?" Behind the scenes, though, it wasn't just a PR mess, it was deeply personal. People close to Sara claimed that she was heartbroken by the accusations. "She's not a monster," one friend said. Yes, her team might have used the situation for publicity, but her emotions were real. She didn't plan to fall for him, it just happened. That statement reignited the debate. Could both things be true? Could something that started as a strategy have turned into real love? For Can, however, the damage had been done. Insiders say he stopped responding to Sara's messages after the scandal broke. "He feels used," said another source. "He's tired of people turning his private life into a marketing tool." Fans noticed he unfollowed several accounts related to her and began deleting photos that reminded the public of their connection. Then came the most dramatic twist of all, a leaked voice message allegedly sent by Sara to a close friend. In it, she reportedly said, "I didn't want it to be like this. I cared for him more than they'll ever know." The recording hasn't been verified, but its emotional tone left many wondering if Sara was genuinely in pain or simply trying to repair her image. Meanwhile, Sara's husband doubled down on his claims. In a second interview, he insisted he wasn't trying to destroy her, only to reveal the truth. He said, "I know how these things work. It was all about creating a story the audience would fall for. And it worked, until it didn't." He added that when Sara saw how the public responded to her connection with Can, she began to blur the lines between authenticity and performance. "She's an actress," he said bluntly. "She knows how to make people believe. And she did it perfectly." But fans of Can Yaman weren't ready to forgive or forget. His followers, known for their loyalty, flooded Sara's pages with messages demanding answers. Was it real? Did you lie to him? Why did you do this to Can? The pressure mounted until finally, Sara's management released a short statement. Sara will not engage in personal attacks or gossip. Her work and emotions speak for themselves. That only made things worse. The lack of denial felt like confirmation. As days turned into weeks, the scandal began to reshape how people saw both Sara and Can. For him, it painted a picture of a man too often hurt by those who see him as a ticket to fame. For her, it created the image of a woman trapped between genuine emotion and ambition. One journalist summed it up perfectly. Sara's husband didn't just accuse her, he reopened a wound that never healed. The world still doesn't know what's real between her and Can. Maybe they never will. But then came a quiet moment that made fans rethink everything. At a charity gala in Rome, Can was asked about the controversy. His response stunned everyone. He simply said, "People can plan many things. But you can't plan chemistry." The audience applauded. It was subtle, but powerful. A sentence that said everything without confirming anything. And perhaps that's why this story won't die down. Because deep down, people want to believe that what they saw, the smiles, the glances, the warmth, wasn't fake. That no matter what Sara's husband claimed, something real existed between them, even if it was just for a moment. Weeks later, a photographer caught Sara walking through the streets of Milan, looking distant and thoughtful. When asked by a journalist if she had any message for Can, she paused, looked straight at the camera, and said quietly, "Some truths belong only to two people." Those words reignited everything all over again. Because now, no one knows what to believe, the husband's version, Sara's silence, or the emotions that the whole world once witnessed between her and Can. And maybe that's exactly why people can't stop talking about it. Because even when love seems like a plan, the heart never follows scripts. That night, long after the camera stopped flashing, Sara sat alone in her apartment. The city lights of Milan glimmered outside her window, but she didn't see them. Her phone buzzed endlessly with messages, articles, and opinions, yet there was only one name she searched for, Can. She opened their old chat, scrolled through the unread messages, and hesitated. For a second, she typed something, then deleted it. Outside, thunder rolled softly in the distance. Across the sea, in Rome, Can turned off his phone, stared into the dark, and whispered to himself, "Some things should have stayed between us."